Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be testing the Retroid Pocket 5 with some external monitors. We will be testing it with a portable touchscreen monitor, a traditional computer monitor, and a large living room TV. So let's see how the device works through various screens. Hello. First up, we have this portable monitor. Let's connect the power by USB-C, and then we also need one more USB-C cable to connect the Retroid Pocket to the monitor. I'm using this USB 3 cable, the one that I use to transfer files from my SSD. So let's put this into the monitor and into the Retroid Pocket 5. And when we turn it on, it should connect seamlessly to the monitor. And there it is. So as you can see, it's now connected. It's now working perfectly with touch input. Everything's as it should be. Going into the settings of the monitor, you can see that we're running at 2560 by 1440p at 60 Hertz. Interestingly, I just pulled the power cable out of the screen and it crashed the Pocket. It's now dead. I'm gonna have to restart it. So disconnecting a screen, it says DP disconnected, could crash the Retroid Pocket 5. So that's something to take note of. And if we launch into a game, we can control the game with the on-screen controls. We can also still keep using the controls of the Retroid Pocket itself as well. But I'm curious to see if we can connect an external controller. So let's try that now. So going into settings and then connected devices, pair new device. I'm then going to hold down the pairing button on the Xbox controller. So this would be the same with whatever controller you're using. We should be able to find it on this list. And here it is, Xbox wireless controller. So tap that and it should pair successfully and we should be able to use this in our games. So let's get back into our previous game and try that out. Okay, we're back into the game. And again, we can use the on-screen touch controls. We can use the controls on the device itself. But now we want to get this controller working. So right away, it's not working because we haven't set it up yet. So what we're going to do is, first of all, turn off these touchscreen controls. We don't need to see them anymore. So if we swipe in from the left, hit overlay options, and here where it says toggle controls, we're going to say toggle all to toggle all of the buttons off, and then push OK. Now we don't have the overlay anymore, and we're going to set up our external Bluetooth controller. So if we once again swipe from the left, go to controls, and then player 1. I'm going to set this up as a player 2 controller because I still want to retain my controls with the original device. So I'm going to go to player 2 and I'm going to say connected, controller type, pro controller, and then auto mapper controller. And we can pick what controller do you want to automatically map. And of course, this time we're going to be using the Xbox Wireless Controller 1. If for some reason you hadn't already auto-mapped the Retroid Pocket, here you could choose the Retroid Pocket and it will set all of those buttons up for you. But I've already done that as controller number 1. So now for controller number 2, I'm going to choose the Xbox Wireless Controller. And now we'll test it out, but as you can see, it has automatically mapped all of the buttons for us. Now as we get into the game, you'll notice it's not working because this is a single player game. So of course it's mapped controller number 1 to control myself, and controller number 2 is not doing anything right now. So in order to get this controller working, we're going to have to set it up as controller number 1. So if we go into the control settings, player 1, we're then going to say auto mapper controller, Xbox wireless controller. Now back into the game, you can see the Xbox controller is working perfectly, and we can now use the Xbox controller to play our games. The only downside with this is if we want to then stop using the Xbox controller and go back to once again using the Retroid Pocket, we're going to have to go back into those settings, back to controls, player 1, auto mapper controller, and this time choose the Retroid Pocket controller 0. There may be a way that we don't have to do this that can register 2 controllers at once, but as of now, I don't know how to do that. So if anybody knows a way to do that, please let me know in the comments. But for now, it's not too long of a process. We just have to choose auto mapper controller and pick which one we want to use, and then it will switch back to using that controller. It only takes a few seconds, and now we're once again controlling the game the way that we want. So after getting our controllers set up, let's now move on to a bigger screen. Next up, we have a 27-inch Dell monitor. This one has a built-in USB hub, so I'm also going to check if I can connect devices to the USB and if they will register on the Pocket 5. So for this one, we only need to connect this one USB-C type cable. So here we're running the game, and let's see if it will work when we plug in the USB-C. So let's plug it in and let's see what happens on the screen. As you can see, the game came up on the screen. It looks like it's working well, but it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to reach over and control the game. So I'm once again going to connect my Xbox controller so I can stand back and let you see how it runs. And interestingly, we now have an extra option, which is my keyboard. In this monitor, in the USB hub, I have the USB dongle for my keyboard connected, and it's recognizing that keyboard here. This is the keyboard, this Christmas themed beauty that I absolutely love. I usually display it behind me. So if we turn on the wireless mode, maybe we can get the keyboard working. So I chose the keyboard option, but unfortunately, it's not working. This wasn't actually something I intended to test in this video. The option just came up, so I thought it'd be fun to give it a go. But let's get back to the real video topic. So I've once again chosen the Xbox controller as my desired controller. You can see that it runs absolutely fine with the device connected by one USB-C cable to the monitor, and everything is working flawlessly. And I have to say, it looks really nice on the screen as well. It's a really, really nice viewing experience. And now, just to test the USB hub functionality of the monitor, here is a USB-C cable that I'll use to plug in an SSD, and we'll see if it shows up on the device itself. So unfortunately, the SSD does not show on the device. Maybe other USB devices will work, but this SSD is not working. One thing to note is that while there is no charging icon at the top of the screen, when we bring down the menu, it does say charging this device via USB, which I hope means the Retroid Pocket 5. It's something I'll have to test a little bit more later, which I'll do in future upcoming battery test videos. But for now, this is running pretty well, and it does look very good on the nice big display. But we can go bigger. So next, we're going to move on to a 55-inch living room TV and see how that looks. So let's go there now. My TV area is quite small, so please bear with me for this section of the video. There's my view out over Seoul. As we connect the Retroid Pocket 5 to this big TV now, you'll see again it's working fine. It says that it connected in 4K once again. This cable that I'm using unfortunately only handles 4K 30p. It doesn't handle 60p, which is a shame, as I'd like to try that out soon. But as the RP5 is designed to be a 1080p console, we probably don't want to push it too far anyway. Once again, I'm using the Xbox controller to control this, and it's working very, very well. It looks lovely. We have that locked 30 frames per second in this game. It's never once dipping below 30, and it seems to be running very smoothly. One thing I am noticing is that this controller seems to have a little bit of input latency, which is a comment I got asked so many times about the Retroid Pocket 5, and one I will be addressing in an upcoming video today. So please look out for that. I hope this video was helpful, showing that yes, you can connect the Retroid Pocket 5 to various screens of all different sizes, and it works very well. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you again next time with a lot more Retroid Pocket 5 content. Thank you very much.